She got into my car looking shaken, her eyes red and her hands trembling. I thought it was just another race with someone who had just ended a relationship. But I soon realized it was different. In the middle of the journey, she handed me her cell phone and said, "Watch this." It was a video. The woman on the screen was her, same appearance, same voice, even the mannerisms were identical. But what that version of her did was disturbing. She was shouting, threatening a man, saying horrible things. "This video is going viral. Everyone thinks it's me," she said. "It's not you?" I asked. She looked straight ahead and replied without hesitation, "No. I've never been to that place. I've never said anything about it. That was made with artificial intelligence." That's when everything changed. The race became a technological nightmare, and I was dragged along with it. It was Friday night. The city was alive. Lights everywhere, heavy traffic, crowded bars, people hurrying to get somewhere. I'd been running since 6 in the evening. Some good runs, some not so good. Nothing out of the ordinary. At least until that call. I took the bus near a busy avenue. When I parked, I saw a woman standing alone on the sidewalk, fiddling with her cell phone as if waiting for urgent news. She was in her 30s, wearing a dark coat, her hair tied up and with an expression that was hard to read. When she got into her car, I could tell right away that something was wrong. She seemed nervous. Her hands were shaking a little, and her cell phone was clutched tightly in her fingers like a shield. The kind of passenger you feel wants to stay in her own world. Even so, out of politeness, I asked, "How are you?" She hesitated for a second and replied in a low, almost whispery voice, "We can go, please." Without insisting, I just gave a slight nod, started the race and began to drive. The destination was on the other side of town, about 25 minutes depending on traffic. She was silent almost the whole time. Only the low sound of the radio filled the space between us. The atmosphere in the car became a bit dense, as if something was about to happen. And I was right. A few minutes later, in the middle of the journey, with her eyes fixed on the window, she asked a question I hadn't expected. "Do you believe that someone can destroy you using only technology?" It took me completely by surprise. I looked in the rearview mirror, trying to figure out if it was just a loose question or the start of a more serious conversation. She still had the same tense expression, but now she was looking straight ahead, as if she was rehearsing something inside her own mind. "What do you mean, destroy you?" I asked, trying to remain neutral. "Your image, your whole life. Everything that people think you are, completely changed because of a video, or a lie that seems too real to be denied." I didn't answer straight away. That was too specific to be just a passing philosophy. It was an outburst, or perhaps a cry for help disguised as a conversation. The race had already taken on a different tone. Now I was paying attention to every word, every gesture.
She turned slightly towards me and, with a look like she was on the edge, added, "Someone did this to me, and now everyone thinks I'm someone I never was. If you like this kind of true story, full of twists and turns and mysteries that make you think, take the opportunity to like and subscribe to the Backseat Secrets channel. There's always something new coming out of the backseat." She handed me her cell phone like a bomb. "Watch," she said. I held the device and pressed play. The image started. It was her. Same looks, same voice. Same way of turning her face when she got angry. I didn't even really know her, but I could tell. She was standing in a dimly lit room, staring at a man. The camera seemed to have been positioned discreetly, as if it were filming something that wasn't meant to be seen. She was screaming. She called the man every possible name. She called him a manipulator, a psychopath, a coward. "If you open your mouth, I'll end you," was the kind of phrase no one wants to see attached to their name. I stopped the video for a second. "Is that on the internet?" I asked. She nodded without looking at me. "It's everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, even family groups. My colleagues at work have seen it. My neighbors saw it. Even my mother called me crying." "What about the guy?" I asked. "What did he do after that?" "He showed it to everyone. He said I was unstable, dangerous. He said he'd been in an abusive relationship and that he'd finally managed to get out. But it's not you? I asked, almost feeling stupid for asking the question, but needing to hear the answer. She turned her face slowly, her eyes full of water. No, I've never been to that place. I never said that. I don't even know where that room is. That is a deepfake. I was silent for a few seconds, with my cell phone still in my hand. I played it again, this time paying attention to every detail. And honestly, if she hadn't said anything, I would have sworn it was real. The face, the voice, the expression, even the tear at the end of the video looked authentic. That's you over there. I know you say it's not, but it's identical. That's the problem, she replied. Technology has become so perfect that no one can separate the real from the fake. And in the end, whoever sees it believes what they want. Those who hate me share it. Those who know me doubt. She lowered her head, took a deep breath, and added, I'm being destroyed for something I never did. I asked, do you think it was your ex? She hesitated. Her eyes were fixed on nothing, like someone mentally returning to a place she had tried to forget. Yes, she said. He always said to me, I'm going to finish you off without even laying a finger on you. And he works in technology. He's always been involved in programming, image manipulation, audio. One day, when we were still together, he showed me a video in which he made a celebrity say things she never said. I thought it was funny at the time, until I realized that it could be used against anyone, even against me. I kept quiet. The city continued outside with its constant noise, as if none of this was happening inside my car. She continued, At first, I thought he just wanted to threaten me. But after the relationship ended, things started to happen slowly. First it was anonymous messages. Then strange comments on social media. People tagging me in videos that made no sense. Until this one came along. And you can't prove it's fake? How? Everyone sees it and believes it. You can't prove you didn't say something when the video shows your mouth saying it, your expression feeling it, your voice shouting it. And those who doubt, keep quiet. Nobody wants to get involved. Did you go to the police? I did. But the policeman looked at me as if I was making up an excuse. He said that if the video really is a fake, I could hire an expert, a lawyer. But that costs more than I have. And meanwhile, my life is being destroyed. She leaned her head back on the seat, taking a deep breath. I've lost my job. I've been estranged from my family. Friends have turned against me, all based on a fake video. And I can't even sleep anymore. I was silent for a few moments, processing everything. There's more, she said. She opened her phone's gallery and showed me another video. This time, it was her being arrested. The video was recorded from a distance, as if from a neighbor or a security camera. Police officers were handcuffing her in front of a house she said she didn't know. Do you think that happened? I shook my head. I don't know what to think anymore. That video was posted yesterday. It's not me. It didn't happen. But it's circulating as if it were. It's already had over 100,000 views. People are celebrating, saying, at last someone has done justice. But justice for what? She was shaking. For the first time in the race, I realized that she didn't just want to tell me something. She was begging someone to believe her. Do you have any idea what it's like to see people wishing you dead for something you never did? To think that you deserve to be arrested, that you're a monster, based on a video generated by artificial intelligence. I was speechless. I was speechless. It's not just a video. It's your identity being ripped away and placed in the hands of someone who wants to destroy you. We stopped at a traffic light. The silence in the car seemed louder than all the noise in the city. She looked at me and said, Today I'm going to meet a guy. A specialist. It's the last attempt I have left. If he can't prove that the videos are fake, I don't know what else to do. I took a deep breath. Don't you have anyone to help you? No friends? Family? They're scared. Some even believe in me, but they don't want to get involved. Others have already given up on me. When the light opened, I kept driving. We were already close to our destination. What about you? I asked. What do you want to happen? She thought for a few seconds. I just want my life back. I just want to be able to walk down the street without being filmed, judged, threatened. I just want to breathe without the fear of opening my cell phone and seeing yet another video of me being shared. She paused. If it doesn't work out today, maybe I'll disappear. I don't know yet whether by choice or because someone else will take care of it. But if I disappear, at least you knew the truth. She got out of the car quietly. The building's gate was simple, made of black iron, with paint peeling off the edges. One of those places that seem invisible to anyone who isn't paying attention. As soon as she passed through the entrance, she turned for the last time and looked at me. That expression, it wasn't fear or anger. It was resignation. If I disappear, remember me like this, she said. I didn't know what to say. I just shook my head in an almost involuntary gesture. She went inside. The door closed slowly behind her, and I stood there for a few minutes longer than necessary. Engine running, headlights on, hand on the wheel, but unable to just drive away. I'd heard it all driving around this city. Confessions, betrayals, goodbyes, sad, bizarre and funny stories. But this was different. It touched on something that went beyond what happened in the back seat. It touched on something that could happen to anyone. To me. To you. Anyone with an online life. Or an enemy willing to go too far. That night, I didn't accept any more calls. I went straight home. But before I even took off my shoes, I sat down on the sofa, picked up my laptop and typed in her name. First came the videos. The first was the same one she'd shown me, the one of the argument with her ex. Only the version I saw there was edited with a soundtrack, subtitles and comments about the controversial case of the month. One of those channels that make a living out of turning tragedy into entertainment. Then there was the second video, the one about the false arrest. And others she hadn't even told me about. One showing her supposedly breaking into a neighbor's house. Another with her crying and confessing to crimes. All as convincing as the previous ones. All with thousands, some millions of views. What shocked me most, however, were the comments. People laughing. People wishing for the worst. People saying well done. People convinced that she was a threat. People who had never seen her, never spoken to her, but who judged her as if they had lived with her all their lives. I looked for anything saying that she had denied the videos, that she had given an interview, made a complaint, anything. I found nothing. No social networks. No old profiles. Not even an anonymous denial. As if she had disappeared from the entire internet. As if she had disappeared on purpose. Or by force majeure. And it was at that moment that a strange feeling came over me. That woman who got into my car and shared one of the most disturbing stories I've ever heard may have been swallowed up by a world where lies are more convincing than the truth. Because the truth requires time, patience, investigation. But lies come ready-made, edited, viral, wrapped in hate and clicks. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about her. I started to look more closely at the news that appeared on my timeline. The scandalous videos. The compromising recordings. The exposés of celebrities and anonymous people. And I began to wonder, how many of these videos are real? How many reputations are being crushed by images generated by algorithms? How many lives are being ruined by voices that seem real, but have been put together by an AI? And worse, how many of these people can prove they're innocent? Because when you're accused with a video so real that it fools even your own reflection, the only thing left is silence. I was obsessed with this subject for weeks. I read articles, watched documentaries, listened to experts talking about the advance of deepfakes. And they all said the same thing. Technology is ahead of ethics. Today, anyone with an average laptop and a decent connection can create a convincing version of someone saying whatever they want. And what once seemed like science fiction is now just another weapon in the wrong hands. I didn't need to see her name to know that the damage had already been done. That woman has become the face of digital tragedy itself. And probably no one will ever know the truth. Because she disappeared into the only thing more dangerous than a fake video. Oblivion. And me? I kept driving, racing, listening to stories. But every time a passenger gets in the car and talks about something they've seen on the internet, a scandal, an expose, definitive proof that someone is a monster, I think of her. And I think about what she said to me. If I disappear, remember me like this. And that's what I'm doing now. Recording this story. Because maybe this video here, the one you're watching, is the only part of the internet that still holds the truth about her. The version that nobody wanted to hear. And maybe you're thinking that this is all an exaggeration. That I fell for a sob story and was manipulated. But you know what? If that's a lie, it's the realest one I've ever been told. And if it's true, then the world is a lot scarier than we think. If you've made it this far, thank you. Stories like this are hard to forget. And even harder to believe. But it's these stories that make us rethink what we call truth. If you were also touched, leave a like below. And if you want to hear more stories like this, subscribe to the Backseat Secrets channel. Here, every run can reveal a secret. Sometimes small ones. Sometimes dark ones. And sometimes, like this one, simply impossible to ignore. See you in the next story.